Happy Thursday, folks. Y'all. I have been trying to record this video and these folks keep calling me. But I'm going to center myself and get my peace so I can share my Thursday thoughts with all of you. It's bad enough I have to be in this traffic on this highway with these very interesting people who seem to get in accidents when the sun is shining. I will never understand that, but I hope they're all right. Bless them, Lord. Anyway, I wanted to share some thoughts with you regarding self-awareness. That probably is a moment I'm going to reflect back on later. But anyway, I wanted to do that by sharing two stories that you're probably going to think are silly, but just bear with me. I'm going somewhere. The first story, I was at Walmart about a month or so ago with the girls, and shortly after we were in there, the lights started flickering. We didn't think anything about it. We continued doing what we needed to do. We progressed to the grocery side, to which an employee says, "Hey, not sure if anyone has told you, but we had a power surge. The cash registers are down, and because it's external, we're not sure when it's going to be taken care of." And so I said, okay. And I thought to myself, well, surely by the time I'm done grocery shopping, because I had just started, everything should be up and running. So I go ahead, do my grocery shopping, lights still flickering, and I'm like, oh my gosh, what do I do? So instead of doing what I normally do when I'm up against a situation that really, when you think about it, should have been clear, the cash registers aren't working, leave. That seems so clear, right? But for somebody who's an overthinking, it just never is. So I said, oh, let me get my coping mechanism. Let me call my boo, my husband. So I called him, explained the situation to him. And he said, just leave. I mean, you can always come back. And I knew that, but had already picked what I needed to pick. And I just don't like going to Walmart. But it didn't make sense to just wait around, of course, not knowing when the power was going to be restored. So the other situation is a work situation, and I'm going to speak very general as it relates to this because I have some co-workers who are friends with me on Facebook, and I don't want to speak disparagingly about anyone. So I'm just going to speak in generic terms, but it was a situation where I needed this other department to do something for me, and they were asking for information which really was unnecessary in terms of what my request was. And I could have easily just provided it. It's not like I didn't have the information, but I just didn't want to provide it because that's not how the process worked. I'm a very process, systems-oriented person, and you start going against the process, it's like, I start short-circuiting. But I needed the department to do what I needed it to do, so there was no way around it. I was going to have to provide them with this information. And really what it was in that situation, it was someone who hadn't been at the college as long as I had. So you had two things at play, right? Someone new implementing processes, which is fine. I'm okay with implementing new processes. Just communicate that information so that we're all on the same page, which didn't happen. And the second part is the person, because they were so new, they weren't quite up to speed on how everything worked. So that was the part where we were kind of experiencing that tension of them not exactly understanding what needed to take place. So I had to think of something that was not only in that moment, but also for future moments, because I got to deal with this department constantly on a consistent basis. So my specialist, she doesn't get as flustered about things as I do, or certain things that I get flustered about, they don't really bother her in that way. So I said, because I know that I have an issue, this is the self-awareness part, when someone challenges what I know, that's probably a little bit of ego, but I don't care. I know what I know. I know my job. So, and it bothered me that it appeared, and I'm saying appear because it's all about perception. So I just decided that from now on, when it comes to any information that needs to be shared between my department and this department, I'll get my specialist to do it. And that way I can continue having a pleasant working relationship with everyone that I come in contact with. So that's the importance of self-awareness, understanding how you tick, understanding what those triggers are, but more importantly, understanding how to implement coping mechanisms that will keep you sane and hopefully dispel or lessen the likelihood for situations, creating tense situations. I remember hearing Beth Moore say that she does not walk around in her mind unattended, and I thought that was so funny and just so true, because when it comes to self-awareness, you do have to be able to kind of peel back the layers, because let's be real, as we progress through life, we have all this junk or gunk that's placed upon us from experiences, from people, and then we start to form these opinions of ourselves, of situations, of experiences, and some of it's rooted in truth, some of it's rooted in illusion, and some of it is just misunderstanding, and so then we misapply it to ourselves and everyone that we come in contact with. But in order to get to a point where you can kind of peel back those layers and really work to understand yourself, you do have to do it from a place of being empowered, because there are a lot of situations that many of us face that have created some long-lasting traumas that you just don't want to go digging up, you know, some old wounds thinking, yeah, I'm gonna finally deal with this, if you really haven't been placed in a position to do so. And that's always gonna come from a place of being empowered to do so, and then also having the right people in your life to help you with that. And that could be therapists. For some of you, that could be ministers, it could be friends, it could be whomever. Of course, you want the people to come alongside you to be the ones who can truly help support and help guide you to a firm understanding of yourself. And for me, you know, I've done a lot of work on my own. I do have a bachelor's degree in psychology, but that's nothing more than just, I know the schools of thoughts, the founders of psychology, and I understand to a degree, you know, what each of those theories represent, and to some extent what they look like in application. But I do not claim to be a therapist, and I do have some graduate coursework in counseling, because at one point I thought I would be a professional counselor. And I also have been blessed, I'm just gonna say it, God has blessed me with some natural and some spiritual wisdom. And I've had good people in my life that have really just kind of stood beside me and helped me process out loud some internal thoughts and things that were going on. So just know that it's important to be self-aware and to really understand how you work, because that's just going to make it easier for you to navigate through life and through situations and through interactions with people. It'll help you to understand, you know, how not to take things so personally, like in the situation with the other department, because I did want to take it personal, as if my knowledge and expertise was being questioned. But that really wasn't it at all. This person was simply just doing their job, and that's why it's important to you know how to evaluate self. So this video was a little bit longer than I anticipated. Hope you listened, hope you got something out of it. And I don't know, maybe I'll do some more things around self-awareness, emotional intelligence, but we'll see. As so I am led, as so I am inspired. Y'all have a good Thursday afternoon, and maybe you'll hear from me this weekend when I'm out running. Maybe you won't, but anyway, take care.